What's good? What's good? You are tuned in to episode 28 of No Feelings Meetings.
Hold up, bro. Hold up. You need me to fucking win. You can't do this without me.
Nigga.
Jimmy Butler voice.
Hey,
no bullshit, though.
I was like, shit, niggas want to be.
This episode 28.
Hey, now I'm gonna let him start then. I'm gonna let him start. We need him apparently. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. We need him.
Intro to episode, Jimmy.
Not nigga, that was the intro. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna let him go. What's good? What's good with your boy Jimmy?
Hey, everybody listening right now, it's Tony. I'm having a baby. I'm not having no baby. Don't believe that shit.
Yo, what the fuck?
Don't believe that dumbass shit, bro.
I thought he was breaking news.
I was gonna say, what the fuck? It's like episode 11 hip hop and shit. Like my G gonna start off with that. Like,
if I was having a baby, I would have told y'all that shit way before we started this.
I was gonna say that's like I feel offended that you waited to the podcast. Like that could have been in the group chat. Like, yo, my G, like I'm gonna have to hold off for a minute.
Nigga said, chill out, bro.
Yo.
Oh shit.
So why Jimmy going wild in practice, yo?
Shit, that nigga wildin'. He not really wildin' though. He got valiant points. Like
he got valid points, but I ain't really accepting that type of talk from a nigga with no titles. Cause like until you win a title, are you really winning?
Shit.
No, that's and they on.
That's real.
Cause it's like nigga, you said apparently we can't win with you either.
That's a fact. He's the type. See, I don't know if that shit works no more. So like, I definitely think like Jimmy Butler's the nigga who's playing like just 20 years too late. Like,
no, he a max player. In my opinion, Jimmy Butler is a max player, but he's expendable. Like he's a max player, but it's like
I don't think he's a max player. But
he a max player.
I'm going for the sector. This is personal. Like
what's your top 5 for? Your top 5 threes.
Twos.
No, and this is what I'm saying. And I'm not gonna give lists because I'll go on that shit forever. But is he a max player in the NBA today? Yes. If you going off what I think should be a max player, it is a nigga that like gotta be like, okay, you gotta be the best player or like a 1A, 1B on a championship team. I don't think Jimmy Butler, you can win a title if he's the best player on your team. Secondly, when I say like he's playing 20 years too late, if Jimmy Butler was in the 90s, like he's a good 3-point shooter, not great. Good as hell mid-range.
Why are you yelling, Stephen J. Smith?
Oh, my bad. I didn't know how to go. Hey, I'm driving while doing this shit, so I don't know how well like the audio is going through. So you let me know. So I'm gonna put my phone a little back. My bad. Everybody out there wearing headphones. That'll be me when I'm listening to this episode in a couple of days. I'll be wearing some headphones and like, why the fuck was that so loud? So if you put him like good defense, like the old school mindset of a leader where it's like you got to be on guys' ass to get like production out of them. Like he fit great in the 90s. I think in 2018 when you're dealing with niggas like Karl Anthony Towns, who's 22 years old.
I think so.
You're dealing with Andrew Wiggins, who's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Them niggas don't
and you're dealing with two. Not only that, but you're dealing with two niggas that probably in their mind feel like they're better than you.
That's a fact. They feel like they're better than you. They're younger than you. They're worth more. Like that shit is the difference when, like, if you're gonna be that kind of player, like you're gonna be the dude who's on everybody else. Like you gotta be.
Damn, man, Andrew Wiggins got the same birthday.
And they looking at the nigga like you can't obtain.
No, it's like if you gonna be that type of player, the only niggas that have ever pulled that off are like all-time greats. Like KG was allowed to yell at niggas. Kobe was allowed to yell at niggas. Mike was allowed to yell at niggas. Like if you Jimmy Butler, like, and especially if I'm Karl Anthony Towns, nigga, you can't yell at me.
I mean, Draymond be yelling at niggas.
I'm about to say I don't really care how many rings you got. Like you're not yelling at me, period. like I'm a grown ass man.
It was different though. It was different though when like Mike, KG, and Kobe. KG got in your face. It was different. That's just, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Like KG was outside. KG, you feel like you might have swung on you too in the same practice.
Man, them niggas, Jimmy Butler was doing all that. Them niggas was looking at that like
like these young niggas different. And I say that like I'm not younger than these niggas.
They talking about fucking he beat the starters with the third string players. Them niggas sit back laughing like nigga they still ain't gonna play.
That's a fact. It's like I don't know. It's a trip. Hey, but did he smash Karl Anthony Towns' girl?
Allegedly.
At this rate.
That's not really
rate.
Because then, because then Cat's a bitch. Like, hold up. If you gonna let a nigga smash your girl and yell at you in practice, like you didn't swing back on him, like you a bitch.
And they said he dunked on Cat and stood over him like, "Is this your king?"
This nigga's outrageous.
Yo, like, Cat's got to fight. Cat got to snuff him. Like, Cat, you 6'11", 260. Jimmy Butler fucked your girl and yelled at you in practice. You got to snuff him.
I don't know. It sounds like Jimmy Butler the one trying to skip town though.
I mean, him being big don't really mean like that. Don't mean he can fight.
They don't mean he can't fight, but I mean he got to.
Shit.
True. True enough.
Like, there's a difference. You might not be able to fight, but you got like if a dude like if someone that much smaller,
he gonna have to hold that one. He gonna have to hold that L.
Like, you gotta be able to say you popped off.
Yeah, like nah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Like a nigga that's 6 foot looking dead at me talking shit like you nah. Even if I couldn't win that, like if it was Floyd, I still gotta throw a punch. Nah.
Yeah, it's one thing to lose a fight. It's another thing to like go out like a hoe.
So who getting traded for? Dude, that'd be wild. You think the Timberwolves would trade Cat instead of Butler, or is it just Butler gotta go?
They definitely trading Jimmy Butler. Nigga, I'm trading Jimmy Butler.
You think? Well, that's a good question. Then, where do you rank Jimmy Butler like in terms of like top 10, top 15?
Top 15.
Yeah, he top.
Is Cat top 15?
But like Cat not top 15, but his ceiling is higher though.
No, that's kind of my thing too. I think Jimmy Butler is as good as
Jimmy. I'm about to say what Jimmy Butler is where he going to be.
And without putting the list together, Jimmy Butler probably top 20. He could probably be debated out of the top 15 without me really having a full list. Yeah, like without me really having a full list together. But just thinking about some of the niggas, like when you think about the niggas in the top 10, half of the niggas in the top 10 get debated to be in the top 5. I mean, like more than half of them niggas. You got about 7 or 8 players that get switched out for top 5 players.
I just want to know, Tony, is Marcus Smart or Avery Bradley above Jimmy Butler?
As far as on ball? As far as on ball, I don't think so. Nah, that's another nigga over Draymond. That's another nigga.
Hey, nah.
Jimmy Butler is definitely a better defender than Draymond. I'm not even finna go back and forth with that.
Nah.
What's like, how do you think you niggas?
Damn. That's wild. No, so and I don't even want to get like. No, I'm bringing it up. We're gonna bring up the group chat basketball conversation we had earlier this week because I thought there was some wild shit said, but I thought there was a good conversation. So let me give context. So we was debating before we get into the Giannis Embiid part of it.
That was where everything came from.
I know, right? That was shit that started.
All I asked was who was a better basketball player when they on the floor.
And that shit snowball, nigga.
I put my phone down and I looked back and y'all niggas was really going back and forth. I said, like, nigga, when are we recording the podcast, my G?
Nigga, no, here's the thing though. When have we ever had like a modest conversation where like niggas just like, I know it's like that shit always snowballs.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen.
Yeah, like this been going on for like 10, 11 years. But damn.
To say that out loud, right? It's kind of wild.
Like,
it's kind of wild.
Guys,
I don't even got what's wild is I don't even got an Xbox Live subscription no more. Like, but it's all good. So we're talking about defensive players. So we established then like the top 3, right? So we going Davis, Gobert, and Kawhi. Is that fair? We wasn't arguing about that.
I'm with that.
Right.
All right. And that's Kawhi coming all the way back healthy, but we're all assuming. At least assuming he gets back to that status. Then we had the 4th and 5th spot. We both had Roberson in our top 5. I had a couple guys that say I think I could argue for the 5th spot, but I'm not mad at Roberson being in there. I put Draymond in the top 5, and you just laughed that shit right out the fucking building. So I'm gonna give you the stage first of why you laughed Draymond defensively out the building.
I'm not putting Draymond in the top 10 defensive players off of the straight. If we talking team defense, cool. I'm
talking overall.
Yeah, overall.
I'm talking overall.
Draymond is nowhere near the on-ball defender that the guys I named is or are.
But when I'm saying overall, as I'll give you, Draymond's not supposed to be a great one-on-one defender. He's an undersized power forward. So he's slower than the niggas that are actually his size and fluid, and he's too small to be like actually down like the power forward and centers. Not that there's a lot of them niggas really going in the paint like that anymore. But if you take the couple guys, like he's not supposed to stop like Karl Anthony Towns and Davis and Embiid. He can't. He's too small. So
who is he stopping like, 1-on-1?
I would make the case. I don't think that's where his value is. I think he's an okay one-on-one defender, but I think what he does defensively for that team is insane.
I mean, yeah, you would have to ask the question, what's more important, individual defense or team defense?
And I think for that team, I think absolutely his defense he is top 5 value-wise.
All right, take him off that team. Is that team still great defensively? Or really, or not even great? Are they very good?
I think they're good at best.
Because a Warriors very good is fucking great if we keep it at 100. Because it's like
the Warriors are crazy because they arguably have 3 top 10 guys if you're taking overall defensive value. Like you can make a case, Clay, Draymond, and KD all making top 10 defensive value.
Damn, they want them Kevin Durant autographs. But like as far as the conversation went in the group chat, we talking. So I'm looking at it from a standpoint of okay. Who helps the team defensively? Who makes an impact team wise, and who can guard not even if say not the best player, but who can guard the best scorer on the team or the second best player on the team? I'm not putting him above many of the guys I named. I'm not putting him above any of the guys I named. And I feel like his importance defensively to the Warriors is through all the crazy energetic shit he do, not necessarily basketball moves.
And so I would say to that, I think what he does is very similar to what's my man's name? I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to think of the player's name. I had a comp for him earlier, but I can't think of it right now. Because to me, the reason why I'm not going to kill him for one-on-one is because if you only base it on one-on-one defense, you actually can't put.
No, but I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like, okay, take the one-on-one part out of it. The team defensively, he does a solid job for that team. But I'm saying like out of just basketball, not the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the intangible shit. Not the intangible shit. Just off of basketball, we could say Gobert one-on-one may not be that great, but what he does for that team overall defensively is greater than what Draymond does for Golden State overall defensively. And Rudy Gobert does that.
It's hard to say that because I mean, realistically speaking, them niggas have 4 rings if he don't get suspended. Like
that's
like the defense
but I would
that
say this.
Draymond plays for the Warriors is more valuable than most. I mean, I'm not saying that he's a better defender, but his
more than Gobert.
More valuable.
Absolutely, and here's why to put it to that, to compare him to Gobert is, and I can't even. I know Gobert's got like the biggest like plus minus in terms of like his defense, Jazz defense with him on the court and off the court, right? So I'm gonna say top 3 dudes. If you want to talk about how important they are, fuck stats, just how the team looks when they're on the court or not, is I'm putting Gobert, Davis, and Green in that conversation. And realistically, I'm only putting Davis in that conversation because nobody else in this team can play defense besides Holiday. The Jazz actually have some guys who can play a little bit defense. The Warriors obviously have Clay's a great one-on-one defender. KD's a good defender. So there's more talent around them defensively. But if we're talking about just impact, Draymond's impact is not just in numbers. Like the impact it's had on the sport is undeniable in my books, which is why I don't know how you push
the
him out of
nigga
the
not
top
the
5.
best, not
like,
the second best defender. He's not the third best defender on his team.
But okay, you don't think
if you want to say impact,
KD.
Cool. That's another conversation for us. Impact.
Do you think Dennis Rodman was
yes, he was impactful.
Okay, then I'm putting Draymond in that same boat.
That's fine.
And if I'm doing top 5 defensive players at the time of Rodman, I'm putting
Dennis Rodman in top 5 defensive players during that period.
During that, and now don't quote me because I don't know the exact years, but that like 4-year, 5-year run he was with Chicago, like I'm putting him in that class. And that's
okay, we can't just say shit like that and don't name.
He was not a better defender.
Defenders of that era, bro.
No. But here's what I'm saying. Is I'm putting Rodman in that same exact class, and I'm going to use the same logic you just used, which Rodman was not a better defender than Pippen or Mike. He was the 3rd best defensive player on his team, and I can make a case he was.
But impact and being good at that thing are 2 different things. There's a lot of niggas that rap that's impactful, but they aren't great rappers.
That's fine, but that's fine. Just keep it in. We won't even. And I'm not going to disagree at that point, but let's keep it to sports, right? So we got the MLB playoffs. You know just as well as I do, a great defensive shortstop is different than a great defensive right fielder. That's a fact. Like, so Draymond is much more like shortstop, catcher, center field, right? Those are like the standard. Those are the great positions to play, right? Defensively. Draymond is like the catcher for the Golden State Warriors. Pause.
Jesus Christ.
Draymond.
Jesus. I'm not even Jesus Christ at the fact you said catch it. It's the fact you said pause.
Like, but that's what Draymond is. Like, you don't have to, like Yadi Molina, right? For the better part of our lives growing up, that nigga couldn't hit, like, at all. And yet, there was no doubt in anyone's mind he was a top 5 catcher.
Yadi or Benji? Because Yadi could always hit.
But take either of them niggas.
Like, as far as I check.
Either of them niggas.
As far back as I can remember.
Take any Molina nigga you want. There's 7 of them motherfuckers. Probably, at least. I don't know. That family's big. But, like, that to me is how important Draymond is to the Warriors and how important Yachty was to the Cardinals. And I'm saying and that to me factors into how great.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm
agreeing with Will. They got 4 rings if that nigga's not suspended.
I
don't think KD plays defense if Draymond's not on that team.
For another day.
That's fact. But I don't even think KD plays defense like that if Draymond's not on that team.
No, I still think he's
because Draymond's one of
his level of like just play all around. I think that he stays in Oklahoma City. I think that his defensive level is still where it's at. Personally,
I'm only disagreeing because I think Draymond has, and I know I just made this. I'm about to contradict myself real quick, but I think it only works with that particular team, and I think this is an anomaly where I said you got to be like all time great to get in niggas' face. Draymond can get into niggas' face on that team because that's an all-time great team, and they don't have like a genuine alpha male.
But that's because Draymond played a lot of light-skinned niggas.
That's fine. But he knows what the fuck he's doing. Like that don't take away from the fact, Vince Carter dunked on a fucking 7-foot spastic Lithuanian motherfucker, and we still call that one of the greatest dunks of all time. And nobody know that nigga's name.
It don't matter. He was taller than a bitch.
That's what I'm saying. And like we can say like, playing a bunch of light skinned niggas. That's 2 of the greatest light skinned niggas ever shoot. That's 2 of the greatest niggas ever shoot.
I mean, but Draymond ain't yelling at them niggas.
He's gotten his stuff faced before. Not recently, but he did it, a couple years ago. Back when he could.
Because Steph is like that nigga Steph is king down in Oakland. I watched this light skinned nigga shoot a shot while not looking at half court on Twitter for the past week.
And that bitch was all net.
That's like, and I mean, I always say he's the greatest shooter ever, but it's like seeing that shit, I'm just like, this nigga don't even be trying. He don't try no more.
It's Steph, and that's to side tangent because I don't want to go away from the defensive point. And I think Steph's one of the few guys who's ever done this. And I don't know if y'all have the same feeling. So some niggas you just kind of get like, you stop getting surprised by, right? Like you just know they great. Like you just stop getting surprised. Like, all right, I know he gonna be this, right? Like I think Shaq was that way where you just kind of knew like, all right, Shaq's putting in 30 and 10. Like it's crazy, but it's like you just kind of expect it already, right? Steph's one of maybe like the few athletes who I've seen like in my lifetime where like I'm really like every time he do some shit.
Yeah, it's like I'm not surprised, but I'm impressed every time.
Yeah, and you keep getting impressed by it. And I don't have a lot of athletes. Like, I don't get impressed by LeBron doing crazy shit no more. Like, Kobe, like, mid-game, you'd get kind of impressed because, like the shots he would take. But Steph's one of the few niggas I've ever seen. I'm like, I'm still impressed. Like, we were talking about this, and we are going to put out another episode, 90 Feet. But, like, Mike Trout's one of the few guys I'm like, damn, like, really? Like, you still... Like, I keep getting impressed by what this dude does, fully knowing he is the best to ever do what the fuck he does. Like, that's not changing. And I'm still like, oh, shit, he did it again?
No, Mike Trout don't do it for me as much just off the strength. Like, his team sucks. Like, his team don't make the playoffs.
His team, no, but I think that's even, you realize how great you got to be that great, and your team is some
But, I mean, if that's the case, like, Kevin Love in Minnesota is like a Hall of Famer.
No, and Kevin Love for like a 2-year run was impressive. And you knew he was going to get 10, 15 rebounds. And that shit was still crazy. That was only like a year, 2-year run. And it was kind of like, all right, now I'm over him. Steph's going on like 4 or 5 years of this shit where I'm kind of like, yo, he's still, oh shit, okay. Like, I'm still getting impressed by him. And like I said, Mike Trout's like on year 7. Who's another dude that used to do that for me? Or I don't know if y'all got anybody that's like that, where it's like you still get impressed even though you know how great they are.
I still get impressed with the refs when they don't call traveling on James Harden.
Yo, hold on. We got to hold that off because otherwise you're going to go way too far in the defensive conversation. And James Harden is far away from
No, man. I mean, that's another thing. Like, James Harden's game.
I was about to say, nigga, don't tell me James Harden better than Draymond on defense.
Right? No, not right now.
No, I said James Harden is as far away from.
No, I know that's what you said.
James Harden's game flipped like so. Like, that's one of the biggest flips of like a game I've ever seen. Cause the way like OKC James Harden, like I take the best player on the other team. Like, I'm the point guard. I'm gonna run this offense and distribute is like a 180 of the nigga he is right now.
They told dog. They said, don't
mind
worry
you, James
about
Harden came in the league. Niggas thought he was like Black Manu.
I remember I thought James Harden and Jeremy Lin was gonna be so cold. like no bullshit.
Niggas definitely thought Jeremy Lamb was gonna be hiding these streets. Is Jeremy Lamb still?
Oh, you said Jeremy
Lamb? I was talking about Lynn.
Oh, you said Jeremy Lamb? Oh yeah, you kind of wild.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Damn. Yo, that's a trip. How many niggas have they paired with James Harden? Come to think of it.
I don't know. You saw now that real quick, that China game and shit. So I was scrolling Twitter. They said Jimmy scored 40.
On 40.
16 or 40 from the field. I'm like, that's 40%. I wonder how many of them was threes.
Hey, what's that?
Jimmy hates Steph right now.
Shout out to Jimmy.
that nigga looking at stuff like that should have been me.
That's a fact. And then Jimmy come out like a year after.
Before.
No, he came.
Was it after?
Steph came out. No, he came out like 2 years after Steph.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
he did.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Because Steph, and the craziest thing of all time in NBA history, like, it gets lost. We should never forget at one point, as many great moves as the Warriors have made to get to themselves to this point, they almost traded Steph Curry for Andrew Bogut. Like, let's never forget there was almost Monte Ellis and Andrew Bogut rolling.
Hey, shout out to Monte Ellis, man.
like they was literally talking about, okay, we're gonna get Andrew Bogut. We got to trade one of our guards, and they was definitely have Steph on the trading block.
I know they probably be looking back like, damn, we dodged the bullet with that one.
Like, just I'm not letting niggas forget that. Like, that's a golden.
What's some like?
Because that was when Andrew Bogut was in Milwaukee, wasn't it?
Hell yeah.
Steph Curry and Brandon Jennings in the backcourt would have been nuts.
What's some shit that happened in sports where y'all was like, yeah, that shit gonna be fire, and like that shit was a dud?
When Steve Nash and all them niggas went to the Lakers. Even though it was the end of their career, but I mean, it was the end of Steve Nash's career at that time, at least. And
well, Dwight was supposed to be the one to do it. Dwight was supposed.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You figure you had Dwight, you had Kobe. I mean, it was towards the end of Kobe's career, but he still had a couple of high years and shit. And I was just like, oh, Steve Nash gonna be setting these niggas up crazy. Steve Nash, I don't even remember how many games that nigga played that season.
Facts. Like 20. The white back was fucked that whole year.
His back was fucked when he got there.
Some shit that was supposed to be nice. I mean, is OKC allowed to be in that conversation?
It's kind of, looking back on it, you can say that, but it's kind of hard to say in the moment because you don't know what it would have been.
Niggas don't know, yo.
I thought that was supposed to be the Spurs 2.0. I thought James was gonna be like, all right, cool, get a nice deal, be the sixth man, like Russ, KD starting.
See, but that shit only cool with foreign players. When you a nigga, that shit ain't gonna fly.
The thing people don't talk about is like these niggas basically chose Ibaka over James Harden. And that's what people don't ever discuss. Like,
but I swear, I thought that should have been Spurs 2.0.
Niggas gonna look back on that in about 10 years. We look at it now like that's crazy, but like think about after everything is like said and done.
When Amari, Melo, and Chauncey was all in New York. Mind you, and they had a chance that first year. Amari was wild and no punch of fire extinguisher.
Hey, Amari fucking D'Antoni was the best and worst thing that ever happened to Amari. Because he had Amari looking like MVP like the first 4 months, and then that fucking fast break.
Timbo was talking that shit on Xbox when Amari was going off. Because I definitely said Amari was a Steve Nash product, and I was looking real wild for about 2 months.
Shit, who a lot of
Brooklyn. When everybody went to Brooklyn, D. Will, Joe Johnson, KG, Paul Pierce.
That was supposed to be a squad. That was supposed to be a squad.
That was definitely supposed to be it.
They were supposed to, niggas ain't even really expecting them to win because it was like we knew Pierce and KG was old, but it was like niggas thought they was gonna upset a couple niggas in the playoffs and shit.
You at least thought they would have took the Heat to 7. And Brook Lopez was supposed to be
kind of wild.
He was supposed to be, even though he averaged 7 boards a game.
And I hated this shit when it happened. This is kind of wild because it happened and obviously never, didn't live up to expectation. But in 2011, if Chris Paul was actually traded to the right team,
mind you, that whole Clipper shit was supposed to be something with Blake Griffin, DeAndre. I know what you're talking about. If he would have went to the Lakers.
Because if he went to the Lakers and they still got Dwight in 2012.
I remember watching that shit. I was hot. I was hot looking at the TV. Like, you telling me the Lakers getting Chris Paul?
Ooh.
And then when they was like, niggas said Stern blocked the trade.
Like the last 2
is lit.
He tweeted his
the
man.
last 2 years of Kobe, that'd have been wild. Now, don't get me wrong. I love that trade getting rescinded because that trade led to Anthony Davis. So, I'm feeling good. But what's another one? I was definitely buying. I don't know if you was. I was buying that. I think it was 2009 Eagles team.
Oh, that 2011 team, the Dream Team.
2011. I was buying the Dream Team.
With Namdi.
I was buying. Oh my gosh, new Michael Vick,
Namdi fell off fast.
Hey, wait a minute. No, can we just say Namdi Asma finessed the shit out the league? My man had 3 great years in Oakland. Didn't have to say shit. Just was he was the quiet Deion Sanders, crazy production. Didn't talk. Nigga only had to play 1 year in Philadelphia. Got his ass about the league with $50 million.
Namdi got his ass torched on the Eagles. Had niggas looking crazy. Cause I was holding off on Reeves as the best corner for a minute. Namdi had me looking dumb as fuck.
Hey, Reeves is Reeves top 5 all time.
That's a fact.
Because what's crazy, we're getting way away from the conversation, but
we're just talking about defense.
This is actually,
we are still
NBA.
Someone was. I was talking to. It was Liam and another dude we work with,
Craig,
and he was talking about corners all time, and what's crazy to. And it's the age, and it's not even a huge age gap, but being 4 or 5 years older than Liam is, and I told him it's the way you watch football the last 4 or 5 years, there's a new best nigga at corner every year, right? Jalen Ramsey got it now, cool. Josh Norman had it for a year, all right, cool.
Sherm
had it for a year too. You don't realize corners. There's been 4 great all time corners, Dion, Green, Champ, Reeves.
Niggas say Champ Bailey.
Absolutely Champ Bailey's top 5.
That's biased.
That's not even biased.
Even though that nigga was
Check
nice.
that man's
Champ Bailey over Charles Woodson.
I am only because Charles Woodson went to safety a lot earlier in his career. That's my only argument against Charles Woodson. I'd rank Charles Woodson. Rod Woodson did the same thing. They both went to safety too early. I would rank them higher defensive players than I would corners, only because they went to they switched halfway through their career. Champ and these guys were all nice corners in still year 12 and 13. That's my argument for that. No disrespect to either.
Hey, man, like MJ said, the ceiling is the roof.
Nigga. But, like, those are the only four to me that have legitimate, like, I'm the best runs. Now, Dale Green never had that run because he played side and side with Deion Sanders. That's just, wrong
Must be the money.
Like, but, and I was telling him, like, when Revis had shit locked down for, like, a solid 6-7 years, my nigga, I didn't think nobody could cover Calvin Johnson. And that's just, I've still, to this day, stated, like, if Calvin was still playing, he'd still be the best receiver in the league. And Revis shut his ass down both times he played. And that was all I needed to see.
Bro, really, you talk about getting the bag and dipping on niggas. That nigga got the bag and retired while playing football. That shit is crazy.
Hey, it was wild. Calvin should still be in the league. Should
he, though?
Absolutely.
I'm not playing football if I ain't got to. Like, that shit don't even make sense.
No, I get that. But one of the things with Calvin, like, why I rank him so high, here's another conversation. Speaking of things that should have worked out, Calvin's one of the few guys you could ever say no one ever took his spot when he left. Like, there wasn't a lot of times when you done at whatever point you say you done, someone's usually past you. No one ever passed him.
As far as, because he definitely wasn't the best receiver in the league when he retired. Antonio Brown was better than him when he retired. I mean,
absolutely not. That was the Antonio Brown second year in the league.
Calvin retired like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown's like,
and Antonio Brown was better than that nigga. And you got me up here capable of stealing. Like, so you know I'm serious.
Nigga, pull up the stats. No, pull up the stats right fucking now.
This like the world be free shit. You gonna be wrong again.
Not even. Pull up Calvin Johnson's stats last 2 years before he retired, and pull up Antonio Brown's last 2 years before he retired. Those last 2 years.
Pro Football Reference.
Because Calvin held off Antonio Brown, Julio Jones.
Calvin last season was 2015. He played all 16 games. My son had 1,214 yards, 88 receptions, 9 touchdowns. Antonio Brown in 2015 had 136 catches, 1,834 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
And now I said take the last 2 years.
Okay, 2014. Calvin Johnson had 71 catches, 1,077 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Antonio Brown in 2014 had 129 catches, 1,698 yards, and 13 touchdowns.
Okay. And he still wasn't better.
Okay.
Moving on. Why you want him to pull out the stats now?
Because the fact my man was playing, because you got to look at a situation.
It's always some shit, bro.
So, all right, that ain't work out. Let's try that.
This nigga out of outrageous, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, Calvin was a monster. Calvin still should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's not eligible for like another 2 years, but when he get there, he should be there. Okay, so let's get back to what we originally were with defense. I'm not going to argue the Draymond shit no more. How this shit all started was Will texted, who's better, Giannis or Embiid? Will, did you give an answer?
I think Embiid is better. I didn't give an answer, but I think Embiid is better.
I was gonna say we just.
And I mean, I know you lean to y'all niggas started wild, and I was like, all right, because mind you, I'd be posting this shit in like the middle of work, and then y'all niggas start wild, and I'm like, all right, I can't keep up with these niggas right now. But no, I think Giannis is better, and like I think Embiid is better, and like how you said Giannis, and you said it wasn't even close. I feel the same way about Embiid. I think Embiid is just more skilled.
How? And I'm not saying that like not.
No, you are.
I'm not trying to let me be clear. No, let me be clear. No, it's not being disrespectful. How is Embiid viewed as more like? Do we not realize
Giannis is just 6'11" and long. Like his skill is not better than what Embiid can do.
And that's my thing. Is like Giannis, and I think Giannis will be one of the best players in the league. But I think like right now his game is mostly based on athleticism.
The nigga been playing ball for like 7 years.
And that's fine. That's fine.
But what did you tell me was a skill? Health was a skill.
He said health.
Absolutely. Availability is an ability. And let me say this.
Health is not a skill.
Giannis, who averages more points between those two?
Giannis, I believe.
All right, who averages more rebounds?
Embiid, I believe.
I believe it's Giannis. Giannis was I don't know Embiid's numbers off the top of my head.
I can pull them up, but what you?
Who averages more assists?
Giannis.
Okay. Defensively, who do you think is better?
I mean, that's debatable. And I mean, if I'm picking Embiid, then I'm gonna lean towards Embiid in the side of the argument. But I mean, I feel like it's debatable.
Okay. So Giannis is Giannis is 30, 10, and 5 off rep, being raw as fuck.
Is that what he averaged last year? Because you can't be making up stats now.
He averaged 27, 10, and 5. Yeah.
So where you get 30?
That's that he's basically a 30, 10, and 5.
Now we doing basically.
Oh my gosh, nigga. And be basically barely a player. Nigga barely plays. Anyway.
But so I think he did average more. I think he averaged more rebounds too, right?
He averaged one more Embiid averaged one more rebound than Giannis.
Okay.
And 5 less points. Is it 5? Yeah.
Embiid averaged 5 less points, correct? Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's close. Whereas like I think Embiid's already shown us the skill set, and I'm not saying it's a bad skill set.
How you just put the ceiling on him though?
What else do you think Embiid is? So here's my response to that. What do you think Embiid is going to do to improve his game?
What can Giannis do to improve his game?
You have to say there's more he can improve on.
There's always room for improvement.
Okay, but so what do you think his ceiling is?
He'll definitely become, just based off of like game.
Well, I mean, number one, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, just based off of like more experience, he's definitely more than 23 points at that size and that skill level down low. His ability to step out the three right now, like he's definitely more than.
Mind you, my nigga, Embiid averaged those numbers in 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, pretty much. It was.
I don't know what.
No, I'm telling you what his minutes per game. Was it 30?
Yeah, it was 30.
Because I'm looking. I don't know. This shit must be wrong now.
You might be looking at playoffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure. But no, go ahead, Joe.
Right. So 30 minutes a game. That's what I'm saying. To me, and tell me if this sounds reasonable, right? So we all think the Sixers are gonna be good next year.
That's fair.
Is that fair to say? Okay. I'm gonna say stat line projection. If I'm just going over, I think Embiid's gonna be about 25, 10, and like 2 to 3 blocks, right? Does that sound about fair?
Right.
Healthy, okay. I say 25, 27. 10 more than 10. I give him 12, 13 rebounds actually.
Now I'm only saying they don't get 12, and I'm not using this as a discredit to him. That team is long as shit, and Ben Simmons is still in rebounds, and Covington is still in rebounds. To be a 12, 13 rebound kind of guy, like that's like Gobert, nobody else rebounding on the team. That's like Whiteside, nobody rebound on the team. So I'm not saying that as a diss to him. I just don't think he's got the team to average 13
right.
Because Ben Simmons is getting 7-8 rebounds. Covington's getting 7-8 rebounds. Like that. I like Philly's team as a whole just because they can run a lineup that's all niggas.
So now real quick, now do you think that with him having teammates that grab rebounds, so like if his rebounds are down to 8 or 9 rebounds a game, but I'm just saying hypothetically speaking, and Giannis averages say 11 rebounds and Joel Embiid averages 9. Does that make Giannis a better rebounder, or does Joel Embiid just have better teammates?
then you start to get into a different argument. Now here's my thing, and this is where no, and I'm not going to discredit Embiid for having better teammates. The same way, right now, the way I feel about it at least is, if you ask me who's the second best player in the league, I'm gonna tell you it's a tie between AD and KD. KD obviously has better teammates. KD could average 33, 34 points a game, I think, if he had to. So stat-wise, I don't use a stat argument with them because AD is going to have better stats because he has to.
That's not no
tie. You don't have a choice. That's not the conversation we're having right now. But you get my point, at least, though?
Well, I mean, and then it's like we looking at. I look at it from the perspective of we've seen KD do it, so we know he can do it. We're not assuming he can do it.
Absolutely. And so, and both have good teams. I think Milwaukee and Philly are both going to be in the top 4 in the East. So it's not a matter of either.
Milwaukee's definitely not in the top. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, yo. My bad.
Yeah, you real high on Milwaukee.
I am. And I think I'm going to get proven right during the season. But that's why I'm not even going to entertain that conversation right now, because we just have to see play out. Which we get the NBA back in 10 days, 9 days?
Next week.
Tuesday.
We air on Thursday. We got to make sure we're doing this correctly.
Come on,
8 days from the airing of this
First
episode.
Game.
Man, that shit ain't coming out Thursday. That's tomorrow. Fuck that, man. I'm going to be up all night editing this shit. I got to be fucked up.
Oh, shit.
Hey, you supposed to let them know you don't get tired.
I don't, but I ain't gonna be up editing this shit.
Definitely not shouting out Kevin Gates.
Hey, Kevin's my guy. My man kicked the shit out of him.
See, that's that bullshit.
Anyway. And I'm gonna say, and I think Giannis's numbers are gonna be just about the same as he was last year, if not like a tick higher. And if I'm saying best, I'm also incorporating what they're doing next year. And to me, Giannis has a higher. Embiid's got a higher ceiling. I think Giannis' ceiling is even higher. Because if Giannis can shoot just a little fucking bit, and I mean just a little bit, that nigga could be the best player in the league.
I mean, there's so many niggas that's like one skill away from being the best player in the league.
I was about to say, because if Ben Simmons can shoot, then like...
I disagree with that.
I say because if Ben Simmons
the best centers in the league can shoot, so it's like, all right, if them niggas just started bringing the ball up and averaging a couple more assists, then you can say the same thing about them damn near.
Well, I don't think there's any center that's close to that though, and the closest to it is Cousins. And Cousins was considered a top 10 player because he could handle the ball a little bit. He could play his back to the basket, and he was an okay shooter. I'd have said good last year, but fucking we got downgraded to okay.
I don't know why you downgraded him when he going to the best shooting team in the league. He got 2 of the best shooting coaches a nigga could have. 3 of the best.
Niggas always show themselves for the relationship over with.
That's how you felt the whole time.
You acting like her baby mama right now.
Hey, hold up. Hey, you mad disrespectful, yo. That's just, I ain't respond to it, but that's just almost as bad as the fucking, I know who had the do-rag in that relationship comment.
Shout out to my man Swervo.
I'm gonna get to the group text.
That shit was hilarious.
Anyway, I'm saying Giannis has the higher ceiling. Currently, already is average. Has a better stat line. And that nigga's like consistently healthy. And I think that is something to be said.
I mean, I made sure to add to the question and say when they are on the floor.
But that's like saying, so would you buy the conversation of who did it used to be?
I'm taking the process.
That's a baseball one. Let me say it this way. Were you buying and this is an odd question because I can't even basketball player right now that fits in this. But like, so Tony, and I know I brought this up before. In like 2009 to 2011,
yes.
Right? Who were you taking at short? And this is why it was a debate. Is who were you taking at shortstop? 110 to 120 games of Troy Tulowitzki, or whoever was the second best nigga at that
Troy
time?
Tulowitzki.
Because clearly, 160 games of Tula was better than everybody out the fucking like just fucking crazy. But it was the deterrent on Tulowitzki was that he could not play 160 games.
And he was injured all the time. Well, to this day.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And he was still cranking. It was crazy. He was cranking out 25 to 30 home runs on 100 games.
I mean, so, 09 and 10, not 11.
Well, I wasn't trying to be exact on years. Yeah, I was trying to get like that time frame. Like when it was him, Jose Reyes, and like Jeter. And Jose Reyes and Jeter couldn't hold a candle to him if he played 160 games. No. But the fact was, they played 160 games, and Tula was not. So, and I think that has to be applied here. There is, even as great as you are on the court, if I'm only getting 50, 60 games out of you, I'm not taking over the dude who's putting up a better stat line on more games.
But that's different. That's so much different because baseball is a 162 game sport. Like if Joel playing 65 games compared to the Greek Freak 77, and we could see that the impact JoJo have on that team is better, and his team is just better. Period. Like. I like me watching them. Like, fuck, take the stats out, all the numbers and shit. Just me watching them play basketball. Like, Embiid plays basketball better than Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That was really my question. But the thing is, like, last season, because you figure, his first season, his first official season, because of course he missed that rookie year. He played 30-some games, right? Or he missed the first 2 years.
Yeah, he missed the first two because he got drafted.
Oh, yeah, no, he did. Yeah, he did miss the first 2 years.
He played 30-some, which is the only reason why he didn't win rookie. Which that's an honest one because it was Brogdon that year.
Yeah, he played like 33 games that year, but last year he played 65
Wiggins
games.
won Rookie of the Year.
No, Brogdon won Rookie of the Year that second year.
Yeah, because that was the wild.
Because that was
and
when they would
say this. I think that's a far different conversation because there's a far bigger gap. If you're going Embiid, Brogdon, obviously Embiid is the better player. Embiid just didn't play near enough games and not even near enough minutes. But that to me is why that argument.
No, Cat won Rookie of the Year that second season.
No,
because him and Wiggins was drafted same year. Wiggins won 14-15, then Cat won.
Well, no, but it was the third season.
The third season.
So the year when he came back and actually played, but he only played 33 games.
Yeah. And that was just too big of a gap between Embiid and Brogdon. I don't think anyone here is saying that's the gap between Embiid.
Well, no, but the thing is, like, all right, even last season he played like 63 games, I think. So now he wasn't really injured last season. That was more like he
didn't play no back to back.
Was what the shit was.
That.
The only injury he had was with.
He didn't play back to backs, and he still had a minute restriction like the.
I know, but I don't think that was due to injury.
But he only missed time from after the.
No, well that's you have to say that's due to injury because he has the injury history, which is the only reason why they had that shit on him in the first place. Even if it wasn't for a current injury,
that matters though. Like when because you said if he's available to play and they make the decision not to play him, he's available.
But
I'm telling you, I'm available.
But that's based on that's insurance. If you go out and you got a car and you get in 6 accidents, your insurance bumps your shit up each time.
I know, but they ain't gonna tell me not to drive.
Oh no, nigga! They put your shit up to $1,000 a month. They definitely.
They're not gonna. Joel Embiid was able to play. They just didn't let him play.
But I'm saying though, that has to do with the fact that he's never shown that he can. Play
That's precautionary more than we're scared to play him.
But what is it based off of? And it's based off of injury.
It's more based off of what they got to look forward to than what they looking at as far as like in the past. Because they knew where they could go with that team, and they was like, we're playing for the playoffs. Like we know how good this team is. We don't want to risk him getting fucked up early in the season. And they saved him for the long run, and it worked out. They didn't need him the last stretch because they were so hot.
I get that.
If they
okay, but the difference is. The difference is the way LeBron rested 2 years ago and the way Embiid was rested or precautionary is based off two different things. The niggas know LeBron can play 80-plus games. That's fine. That's not a worse. It's like, hey, take a day off here, take a day off there. Embiid was the scare of him getting hurt, which is why it was completely taken out of his hands. It was not a normal rest situation. Wait for the playoffs.
LeBron rested because the Cavaliers sucked and he wanted to go back to Miami for a month.
In conclusion, Joel Embiid is better than Giannis.
No, hold the fuck up. What you mean in conclusion? What you mean in conclusion?
What you mean? What you mean? What I mean, nigga?
Fuck out of here. Talk about in conclusion.
Hey, I mean, I think next season. I think this upcoming season will say a lot because
absolutely this will be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I feel like how many seasons is Giannis in?
Like this year.
That nigga better be coming into the season with a jumper. like nigga, if you better.
No, and I will say that is wild. That is absolutely wild that Giannis.
You need to come into year 6 with a jumper. And if you don't come into year 6
to be
with a
fair,
jumper, I'm not having this debate no more.
Hey, Joel Embiid might be the second best shooter on his team. Nah, maybe third. There's Redick's on there.
Covington can shoot.
Like good shooter.
Covington, he like a 3-and-D type.
Okay, so Covington, Redick, and they got one more dude. I thought.
Motherfucking Wichicom can let that bitch fly. That's what I was about to say.
Cyrus
can let that bitch go.
Sarge, all right. Yeah. No, because Ben definitely can't shoot.
How much you want to bet Ben come with a jumper before Giannis?
No, that's what I was actually about to say. And I don't think he does. Who's the better shooter?
Giannis. Giannis, he got okay from mid range. Giannis will get to the free throw line. He can give you a couple of free throws. Ben, he shake you up the line too.
Shoot a 3, coward. that shit will never not be funny to me.
Hey, Ben is the only nigga that like in this era they can't say like when they're like, oh, you got to be like this kind of player. Ben said, "Fuck that." He ain't make 1 3 last year. How you not make 1 3?
Did he even take one?
Yeah, he took. I think it was like over 2 on the year.
He said, "Yeah." After those 2, he said, "Yeah, this ain't for me." He said, "No, I'm good. I'm good, my G."
Was it? They was talking about on what's the NBA show ESPN got?
The
jump. My man went on there. He was like, "Yeah, they really think of Ben Simmons like a point center." And I'm like, "Nigga, the fuck is."
I mean, if anybody could be that shit,
like,
it's him.
Y'all can't make up.
Like,
I was like, you can't make up point center because the nigga.
Yes, you can.
I'm about to say, why can't you?
Nah, that's foul. You can't.
Point forward ain't always been a thing. Niggas.
Nah, point forward's definitely been a thing for a lot long. No, this is the difference. You a point forward is made off of strength because the nigga could dribble.
I said they
can't
point
say
center.
we gotta play point center just because you can't shoot. The fuck out of here. One was made because the dude had a skill set. The other one's because of lack of.
I mean, it's not really a lack of skill set just because he can't shoot. Like, it's a lot of niggas that can't shoot.
No, lack of a skill. Ben has a great skill set. He lacks a skill. Damn, that's mad sports talk.
What fuck shit going on in the world? Bill Cosby got hit with a chicken patty.
I don't even care if that's true or not.
It don't matter.
It don't really matter if it's true. Like, the idea.
What Charlamagne say? He said don't nobody care about the truth when the lie's more entertaining.
The idea this nigga gets smacked with a prison patty is like the funniest shit to me. Your man's got the orange jumpsuit on.
Get me the fuck out of there.
Your man's got the orange jumpsuit on this shit.
Hey,
man, look.
Hey, that's hilarious. Did y'all listen to
Shout out to QC, man.
So I'm not even gonna lie. Hey,
I mean, that's fine. But he ain't gonna have the number 1 album in the country though.
Did y'all listen? No, that's fair. No, that shit was hard. I fucked with it. I actually heard a bunch of people saying, and you listened to him far more than I do, Tony, so I'm gonna pass the question on to you. There was a lot of people saying that they shouldn't have had the Drake song.
They say Drake caught one. Because they say Drake. I listened to that song. Yeah, they was talking about how Drake caught a body on them niggas.
Man, look, man.
Yeah, I tweeted. That should have been a single. And I'm like I said, I'm deferring to you. You know more about them niggas than I do. They said that should have been a single. like to release either a couple weeks before the album or after the album.
But they ain't needed because they had the Lil Baby song with Drake already been going off.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, well, so they said that should have been separate though because it kind of. Now, and I haven't listened to the whole thing. I've listened to, I think,
I listened to
that
most
Drake
of the
song.
shit
That Drake song only would have had them doing 130 instead of 125. Like that shit wouldn't have made no difference. And like I,
no, but it's the hype.
Like I tweeted, man, Drake verse was fire, but Lil Baby verse is like some of the most fire shit I heard him say before, and I done heard this nigga say some of the slickest shit ever. That nigga said I gave her a dime, told her to go fix her stomach. Like
you said some of the slickest shit ever, ever and what?
And,
like rap?
No, in this genre, in this demo.
I'm like, damn, I don't really be knowing what he be saying most of the time. But like, send me some of the fire. But no, that like it was like I listened to that shit. It was cool.
It was a good project.
It was dope music.
It doesn't matter what you want to listen to. Like that shit,
yeah.
You can't compare. I don't compare certain shit to certain shit. Like I'm not putting everything in the same bubble. I'm just not.
Right.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. And I totally agree with that, which is why
Because majority of the time I just want to hear niggas rap about their cars and money. Like I don't want to hear a nigga talk about my struggles on the block and mom's rent was late. Like my nigga, my mother rent was late too.
That's one of the things I actually like about T.I.'s album. And I'm gonna steal a line here. I don't know if Will's gonna catch it, but T.I.'s album feel like it could have been dropped at any point.
I'm gonna catch it.
That shit would make sense. I know, but it's like, hey, that shit. But you get it though. Like that shit to me, that was like an honest assessment. Like T.I. could have dropped that same exact album in 04, 08, 2012, like at any point, and that shit felt like a T.I. album. It felt like it was
that's
like
they said though. Like T.I. he has his sound. Like he don't really change to go into nobody else's lane or nothing like that. And if he get on somebody else's song, he's on there sounding like T.I.
Do you think that? Did you agree with them when they said T.I. wasn't sound like more niggas sound like him than he sounds like other people?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because it's like I wouldn't say he sound like anybody, but then I don't know who would you say sounded like T.I.? That would be my question. Like I don't think T.I. sound like anybody either, but I don't know who I could think of that. Right.
Sounds like him. No, that was my only question is because I know when we talked about the list of who is most influential from the A is, and I'm not saying it was the way the tone in which it was presented made it kind of sound like y'all laughed T.I. out of here, but y'all said it was nobody was sounded like T.I. or nobody was
No, I said you ain't never heard when it comes to niggas in Atlanta. I ain't gonna say the whole game, but when it comes to the niggas out of Atlanta, no, T.I. didn't. No,
Gucci.
T.I. haven't influenced more people than Gucci. He haven't influenced more people than Future. He haven't influenced more people than Young Thug.
No. I think if anything, you could say he influenced the content.
And I can't even say that because he ain't influenced trap more than Jeezy. To me,
I mean, I didn't say. But no, I'm not saying he was the only one that influenced it.
Oh,
but
no.
I think he was definitely influenced on it.
He was
T.I., Jeezy, and Gucci are in traps. That's fair to say. We don't even need a fourth face. That's traps Mount Rushmore. Is that fair?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, and if I'm saying it, Gucci is more inside the A. More niggas that come out of Atlanta sound like Gucci. But I think there's more of a T.I. impact. I'm not gonna say worldwide because I'm not speaking for niggas in Europe, but statewide, there is far more people who, for the majority of his run, have been either listening to, fucking with, or affected by T.I.
I disagree.
Anybody else?
I disagree.
I think Gucci's had a higher peak than T.I. But I think if you want to talk about from start to where they're currently at, I'm taking T.I.'s in totality from what we give him, I don't want to say he was popping no one, but we'll say from 01 to 2018.
No,
right?
05.
Just 2000.
I was about to say that's
early
go
05.
Well, I'm only and I'm not saying that's how hot he was.
You saying when he started actually rapping?
Yeah. So I'm saying 2000 to 2018. I'm just taking the whole in totality of it, right?
What are we basing this off? Are we basing this strictly off the trap genre or just rapping? Because Gucci ain't never been like a nigga that's I'm rapping. Like T.I.'s been a rapper.
T.I.'s a lot of things. T.I.'s a big word nigga user.
Damn, you put the ER on nigga.
Nah, I said nigga.
Yeah, he did put the ER on user. He put the ER on user. I said you put the ER on user. You didn't put the ER on nigga. But it just the way you said it, like, you know, you threw a nigga off for a minute.
Hey, no, hold on. You trying to get me fucked up?
We with you out here. We on your side, my G.
T.I. got as he would say, quite a spectacular vernacular. But like,
this fucking reading rainbow ass nigga, man.
Hey, who read more dictionary? T.I.
Talking about stuff. I ain't gonna get into it.
I ain't never owned a dictionary. Y'all ever actually owned a dictionary?
Have I ever owned a dictionary? Fuck no.
Like, you ever actually had like a dictionary?
Fuck, I got the internet. What I need a dictionary for?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like pre smartphones and shit. Like I ain't always had a smartphone.
Even before I had a smartphone, like I had a laptop.
Before smartphones,
like, I'm not using no motherfucking dictionary. I've used it at school, so you only like I'm not bringing one to the crib.
That's not okay. Was you at like? Oh no, I always knew this nigga like he was fast as shit in the dictionary. Like I don't know why.
Nigga probably a serial killer now.
Like that in Yellow Pages. He might be, but like he was dead ass. Like the teacher be like, "Look up this word." My nigga was like flipping through pages quick as shit. Be like,
"Found it." They already knew what page it was on.
Niggas like that kill me.
My man said, "I got a photographic memory."
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, what the fuck's up with him?
He sat by himself at lunch and shit.
That's not. That's a nigga like I was. If no one would have known now what the world's coming to, I'd have definitely been friends with him back then.
That nigga wrote your name in the black notebook.
Hey, that ass. He was going.
That nigga said Justin's next.
Hey, I remember like some of the most twisted shit is we had I was in third grade and we'd go out to recess. Our teachers would do like another roll call.
Nigga, what?
Shit, right?
I'm not taking your big ass in the chaperone. What I look like?
Nah, fam. Hold up. So
I was third grade. He think my man been 7 feet forever.
I was an average size kid until I hit my growth spurt. Fuck y'all. Anyway, they would take a second roll call because niggas didn't want to.
Hey, that's like his rapper thing when he said he thought all rappers was like tall as shit.
Yeah.
That's a fact. YG was looking 6'5" on that page. But and they had called one of the names of the kids in the class. It was I don't remember what her name was.
We gonna call her Brittany.
And yeah, Brittany for this example, right? So we got Brittany. Brittany, like she's like, Brittany, you here, Brittany? Brittany didn't answer. It was like, where the fuck Brittany at? And the dude was just like, she's not coming back to class.
Whoa, damn.
Whoa, fam.
Wait a minute. Everyone's got like the teacher's confused. Like, what do you mean? He's like, I tied her up at the jungle gym. She the jump rope. I'm like, what the
Hold
fuck?
up, who's watching y'all? Like, because the effort it takes for him to tie her up.
Mind you, he done definitely shot a school up since then.
Like, I was really.
These are the signs you need to be looking for in kids and shit.
This nigga said I tied her up by the jungle gym.
My man tied up.
How far is this jungle gym away from it? Like everybody else.
The jungle gym from the class was probably like.
There's so many questions.
It's not even honestly like our school had like 3 like hallways and shit, and then like a kinder area, auditorium, and that was pretty much it.
Was
like,
it one floor?
A big school.
My shit was like that.
Yeah, no, it's one floor.
Who the fuck has shit, you'd be surprised, bro.
You would definitely be surprised.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to find out where
the inner cities is real, bro.
Got a 2-floor school? Like, damn, I ain't never seen like my whole district. We ain't
my
got
school
no
definitely had a 2.
Wait, you hold up,
floors.
like at all?
Like our whole district don't got no 2-floor schools. What the fuck? We all flat ground, nigga. Like
up until like Up until like 5th grade, all I knew was 2 floor schools.
Did y'all ever go to inside school?
A what?
Like at all inside?
What are we
school?
talking about?
All inside.
Nigga, like there were schools that were all inside. The whole campus was inside. Like you walked in the building.
That was the only
Is
thing
it
I
not
knew.
supposed to be like that?
Like I ain't never know shit other than that.
Nigga, all my schools is outside.
So like, yeah.
Like,
so y'all was just out in the environment and shit.
I'm gonna say, hey, yo, that's wild. When I go to
So
work,
y'all could like dip at lunch and like come back.
School, like, absolutely. The fuck, they had to put gates on our shit.
Oh man,
nigga, if I love school, you had to sneak out if you wanted to go to McDonald's for lunch. Like niggas used to
sneaking out was easy. It was getting back in. Like you got to make sure your man's is going to the bathroom at the right time.
Because there's always that one back door that's covered heavy, but you gotta catch it at the right time. Niggas catch you leaving out. They say you better not come back. Niggas say I'm leaving, ain't I? The fuck I'm coming back for?
Yeah, my nigga, y'all got damn. I ain't never know shit to be other than like just straight like until I got to college. Yeah, like until I graduated and went to college, it was like everything was in the same building, my nigga.
I only seen that shit on TV.
Did you ever get that perfect attendance award?
You said what?
Did you ever get that perfect attendance award?
Yeah, a couple times until I hit about 6th grade. From that point forward, it was me and my mom had came to an agreement to where like, yeah, I don't feel good today. All right, cool.
No, I'm talking about the one you wanted for college, nigga.
Oh shit, hell no.
Is the perfect attendance award like one of the dumbest school awards? Like where y'all ranked at?
That's a participation award. Like nigga,
hey,
you can show up every day and get all F's.
we had a nigga when it was our 8th grade graduation. He had so they had the one that was like if you had perfect attendance all like 8th grade year, right? And then they had another one that was like if you came to 90% of the days in school over your 3 years. Like, that was some crazy shit.
I mean, they like the NBA coming up with these wild ass stats.
No, this is more wild shit. This nigga not only percent, they was like he hasn't missed a day since 6th grade.
This nigga better be valedictorian.
Well, no, he was
then
failing
they brought
all
up some shit. Then they brought up some shit, and they was like, "We even called this elementary school. This nigga ain't missed a day since kindergarten."
They doing referrals and shit. They calling, they back checking your shit.
This nigga ain't got no friends.
My man went to every day of school from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro.
It ain't even number one. It ain't that much shit for me to do that way. I got to be there every day.
that mean this nigga was going like late in the year, like when everybody else like, all right, I'm
That's
good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck was you doing? Like, yo, hold the fuck up. This nigga was going the day before Christmas break. Like, don't nobody go to school the day before breaks.
Niggas was pulling up on snow days. He said, "Well, shit, just in case." Oh yeah, you.
It's California. We ain't got no snow days.
Facts. You right. Y'all had earthquakes and shit.
Niggas was pulling up on earthquake days.
Earthquake day. That's
I'm saying, so what type of shit caused like niggas to not have school out there? Yeah.
Fires.
That's kind of
like
wild.
Random fires.
Like forest fires.
They wouldn't send us on when the bitch threatened to burn down the school.
Well, we had a bunch of those too, but like we had when I was in, I want to say it was 7th grade. It was great. I got out of a fucking book report for this shit. It was the 3 days before. It was a 2-week break. It was the California fires. School. That was the week before. School got canceled for the whole week. I had a 3-week vacation, but we couldn't go outside.
Shit.
There was mad. What you call this shit? The soot and the shit in the air from the fire.
Niggas was doing blackface.
like that shit was we couldn't go outside. I had a 3-week vacation and I got a homework canceled. I was like, cool, I ain't even doing it.
That's kind of fucked up. Like with your health situation, like you live in a area like of like fires and smoke.
That's some real shit. Did y'all ever have speaking of school, y'all ever use like this? Y'all had to the same book for book reports.
Like what you mean?
Like, I would definitely use the same book for my book report for like 3 straight years.
To keep it a buck, bro, I barely had a book report. Like, I probably did like 3 book reports like my whole life.
Nah, they used to like give us the book like they'll give us books and tell us to do book reports and shit. That was like back in elementary and shit though. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We had I was slick. I thought I was slick though, because like
it don't ever end well for a nigga that thought.
Nigga picked Tom Sawyer every time and shit.
No, I picked the book that was like 3rd grade level and shit, right? And I was in 2nd grade. So they was like, "Oh, he kind of smart." Picked the 3rd grade book, you know. My sister had already read the book, so she helped me do it. Then I went to 3rd grade and it was like, "Okay, I got a 3rd grade book." It's like, "Okay, he's on pace." And then the 4th grade,
nigga said, "All right, this nigga stupid." Nigga dumb, y'all.
We don't give him It was like, we gonna cut him some slack. He's just a little stupid. It's okay.
Nigga thought he was lit.
Oh, fuck. Hey, but that ass, we only had to do 1 book report a year. And I nailed that shit each year. Like, same book, all 3 years. Turned it damn near the same report all 3 years.
It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild going to school with niggas that got guns and like it's police in your school with guns. So you just like, who go up that bitch first?
It's definitely gonna be the student. Like if he was dumb enough to bring the gun, you best believe he'll up that bitch.
ain't nothing like high school, man.
I think only once did I bring something on campus that I wasn't supposed to bring on campus. I think that's about as vague as I can make it.
Like the statement on
statute
campus,
of limitations ain't up on it. Though,
you said what?
Like the statement.
I said the statute of limitations ain't up on that shit yet. You can't speak on it. Like nigga, you've been out of elementary school for years.
Bro, I still work for a school. There's a bunch of shit that can get me fucked up.
Yeah, you kind of wild.
So, like I said, I brought something on school campus that I was not supposed to bring, and that's as far as I can say.
Mr. Justin bringing shanks to the kids.
Man, we definitely had the box cutters.
Niggas starting the fight club.
Hey, fam, tell me why box cutters ain't shit.
You say that till you get one across the fucking. Now you look like Omar.
I know a box cutter will cut your dick up. A box cutter will cut your dick clean off, but like that ain't the point.
Niggas like niggas don't, like the effect, like to get your face cut. Like that's so. Don't nobody want that, yo.
You ever heard of saying buck 50 his face?
Razor blade undertongue.
Damn. Oh shit!
Hey, shout out to the niggas who was able to keep the razor blade under their tongue all day. I was always too scared to fuck with that shit. I wasn't living like that. Like I keep that shit in my pocket, my guy.
That's so wild because like you gotta really like be tact with that shit because you a switch like, whole shit, boy.
Oh, what movie was it? I just watched.
Niggas talking about practice.
Did y'all ever watch any of? I watched a movie this week. I thought it was a good time to watch because y'all shit on me last week for not watching movies.
No, I shit on you for not watching black movies. Like I don't care if you watch some shit with Tom Hanks.
No movie. Nah, fam, was y'all ever watched The Purge?
Nigga said that like yo, y'all ever heard of hip hop? Like nigga,
no,
yes.
I don't like that. No, so I watched not the actual first one, but the first Purge, like the one that's supposed to be like the prequel and shit. So how this shit all happened. Did you watch that one?
I almost said my girl. Yeah, one of my friends saying that shit.
He's slipping out here.
My boy, he be out here pump faking for real.
That's what I'm saying. And he be going on Twitter talking about this should be us and texting girls like really like this should be us.
Pump faking, has he?
Lapita, I'm out here.
Hey, yo.
Don't let this internet stuff fool you. I'm looking for love.
So I'm looking for you.
Hey, that's wild.
I need me a chocolate queen anyway.
What you say, melanin popping?
Super. Lapita the only chick with like a haircut I like date.
You ain't pulling up on Amber?
I pull up, but I'm not staying the night.
Damn.
Amber remind me of shit.
She gonna have you out there. She gonna have you out here talking about I'm a hoe too.
Put the sign and shit walking.
What was my man's name though in the movie that slashed him? Was freaky looking motherfucker.
Which movie you talking about?
The first Purge.
Like the one that just dropped. Like the prequel one.
Yeah, the prequel one. My man slashed the Fiend who slashed his neck.
That's Kendrick Lamar character off Power.
That's some wild shit. Hey, no, what's more wild is the fact that nigga rolled up in the party and everybody before he started stabbing motherfuckers looked at him like he was normal.
Shit.
Like they looked at him like, oh, he cool. He just here to chill with us. Like, nigga, you see how fucked up he look?
I mean, anytime
I'm not here to stereotype, but nigga, damn, like something's wrong with you.
Anytime a crackhead come to any function, you gotta ask questions. That's
what I'm saying. Like, and nobody asked shit.
That.
And the girl was just dancing with him. Like she was like, oh, that's all cool. Like she deserved to
What's
get
the wildest thing that happened at a party I went to?
I pulled up on a party like only an hour after that bitch started, and cops already like 6 cars deep.
What you got to point at niggas?
I literally like I was driving by the house, like there was already 6 cars. I'm like, oh, okay. So we just kept driving down the street like I didn't see
shit. Gunshots. A lot of them. That's my answer.
I respect that, yeah.
That's all I can say. Some noises that shouldn't have been made.
A lot of them.
Now, I'm I think I'm lucky and I'm a knockout sport. I think I've only been at like 2 places where like shots went off.
Like in life?
I'm a knock on wood. Yeah.
Shit, that was called how I went to sleep for a lot of years.
What? You said what was how you went to sleep?
Gunshots.
Was back when you was freestyling the Mac rounds in the background.
Hey, yo. Hey, bro. What else we got here? We wrapping this up.
I said we got to wrap this up because my girl definitely keeps texting me talking about where you at.
Downstairs, nigga.
Nah, nigga. She don't live here. End of the month she's coming up here.
No.
Shout out to your girl for bumping that Styles.
When she does, my schedule's gonna be so much better because I don't gotta drive an hour. It's like I'm not using 2 hours of my day just driving.
That's what you think. You think? Not saying you ain't gonna be driving, but you think your schedule gonna be so much better.
Well, because her work hours are gonna work for my recording hours. That's why. Because the job she's getting, she's working later into the day. So that's why I'm not expecting like my hours to open up while she's home. But the hours I'm getting while she's not there, what I'm looking forward to. But that's neither here nor there, and she didn't hear that. Love you, baby. But
she be listening to this.
She's listening last couple. Ever since the one that a couple episodes ago, she's been listening. That's how we got up to 5 listeners, yo. How you feel? And we can't be like Joe. We hide the numbers.
Yeah, man. We don't check the numbers.
We definitely. I just said that shit in real. We'll edit that out. But when she comes down to like my schedule, I'll be back. I will have a better recording schedule. Like I said, I'm gonna start streaming on Wednesdays. So I don't know if y'all still got PlayStation or PlayStation Plus, but if y'all ever trying to jump in any of the Wednesday streams, I'm trying to also, and I think it'd be a dope thing to do. And I know Tony might not like it because he hate white people. But
well, shit.
You can't. How you just gonna put on my boy?
Niggas said I hate white people.
No. Hate. He ain't say you don't fuck with. He said hate.
Like that's so strong.
Strong.
But anyway, I'm gonna try to do. I want to figure out a time to like a big ass collaborative episode, and I'm talking about like everybody on that bitch.
Like some
talking about what you mean.
Well, here's the thing: is all of us fuck with like the same shit, and I think it'd be interesting to have, especially when it comes to hip hop and sports. Like all of us fuck with that, and I think it would be interesting to have.
All y'all niggas from Cali, we could talk about gang banging, drugs.
Yeah. Well, no, here's a dead ass thing, and I don't want to go more into it because I don't want to give away because it's still kind of like in my
you
head.
just told us how many listeners we have, my G. Who the fuck gonna steal our ideas? That's only on one platform.
Definitely only on one platform. Don't sleep.
We got 400. The network got 400 listens a week. Fuck with us, but
fuck with us. 400.
When what? Yo, what the fuck? Who listened to Joe?
What happened?
Budden or the singer?
Budden.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's my shit.
About to
Hold
say.
up, that's my shit.
I was about to say, fuck you, here.
Anyway, no. So doing like a big ass episode talking about that shit because I think there is something to be said. It's you got the white people, black people, and you got the nigga in the middle who was raised by white people, and I think we can get to this conversation.
So the white people and the black people.
How come I feel like we're gonna be outnumbered, Joe?
No, it's not a matter of being outnumbered, but it's all, the conversation's on your side because I agree when
I want to talk about Kaepernick.
Well, we're gonna have a woke discussion.
I'm trying to make some niggas uncomfortable.
But I think there's something to be said when you talk in hip hop. That is a black person's platform. If you come to speak on a black person's platform, there are certain things I think you have to resign. Like even if you have an opinion on it, I think you do have to put your opinion either to the side or you have a different box.
Hey Liam, I'm just telling you right now. Before you
don't talk about Eminem or Logic to me.
Before you argue rap with me, study some Kiss lyrics. Because if you ain't got one Kiss bar, I'm not debating.
I need a bar from Kiss, Sheep, and Styles.
Styles is nice.
And I need to know who the hardest member of the Locks.
Is that subjective? That has to be subjective.
Definitely, but I just need a reason why.
I was like, wait a minute. Do you have like a definitive answer on that one?
I started thinking like, damn.
Because I've heard niggas state like, it sounds when I listen and I'd be like I've changed my answer every time.
This beloved definitely got me sound like Styles is like.
I felt like low key. I was listening to that shit. I was like, Styles was low key washing Dave ass up on that shit, and Dave was doing all right.
That's a fact.
But I was like, because Dave sounded like he keep that, he still got that New York sound. But I'm like, while I was listening, I'm like, yeah, lyrically and shit, they just different.
No, that's a fact.
They different. They two different niggas lyrically. Styles is a different nigga.
No, so that's that. But I like I said, I think because you remember that first episode of like the pull up where Joe had everybody at the house.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when you said.
No, so that's kind of my thing. Like it's all in.
Oh yeah, some shit like that'll be dope.
And it's still probably like a month out, but it's something to just kind of start thinking about. And I think, especially when you get people, and this might sound corny. I like the fact, like in my circle and people I mess with, like everybody's got a really, in my opinion, like unique story, or at least a different story.
Yeah, I think if you can't have too many niggas, can't have too many white people.
No, I think if we got a couple of general topics to kind of like, even if it's like popular topics to kind of just debate on, because I'm pretty sure like even just talking about like, all right, who are the top five, the top five greatest rappers of all the time or whatever. I feel like that conversation in itself will be a hell of a conversation to have, just because I know the way me and Tony probably look at shit is probably completely different than the way that they look at shit, or me.
Absolutely, and that's why I think it's interesting, because you have people that have listened to hip hop their entire life. You have some people that have been indoctrinated. You have people that have, flat out. One of them probably really, I still haven't really figured out. He only kind of fucks. He fucks with like when there's like a poppin' song or a poppin' artist, but he's not really. Tony wouldn't debate him because he definitely he might. If you ask him who the hardest member of the Locks, that nigga might tell you like Master or Pad.
No.
Like I like certain shit I let rock. Like, okay, you into the culture, but you're not like deep in it. Like, I get that, but like certain shit, I just feel like you gotta know.
That's a conversation we can't have it now, but that's actually, I'm gonna keep that as a note, because that could be something for next week. Is how deep do you have to be? Because I think that varies by person. I think a lot of people have different answers for that. Because some people will tell you only a part of it if you like. It's kind of like the old like New York, LA debate. Like we're talking like, okay, what birthed hip hop? Who really was like the father of this shit and all that? So we're gonna save that for next week though, because that is a actual conversation.
I think I have
New York though. Everybody know that though.
I think New York birthed hip hop. I think the
LA
content as we know it, I think
another
the
level.
content as we know it, as far as like the gang banging, all of that. I think LA is the reason for all of that shit. Like when you're talking about the gang banging and raps and selling dope. I mean, even though New York was into that shit too, but I think LA is responsible for the
thing about
content.
that shit is though, is like the niggas from LA that was rapping, like the niggas from New York that was like really doing that shit wasn't rapping.
Nah, but that's
well, yeah. Back then, they used to look at the rappers like they was corny niggas and shit. Like y'all rapping about what we doing.
That's a fact. We're gonna say that for next week though. Tony, what's our Black History fact of the day or the week?
In the words of the great Maya Angelou, bullets bisexual because they hit niggas and bitches. That may be Jadakiss. However, I do my fact checks later.
Hey, hold up a second. That's like, and you said shit about Harriet Tubman. That's wild. That line with Maya Angelou. That's like the most peaceful looking person, and you was like, my bullets bisexual. Yo, hold on.
Hey man, that's not peaceful.
That's kind of wild. That's kind of
hitting
wild.
Everybody equally.
So they're going both ways.
They going both ways. Like,
what was the Wayne line? He's like, my guns turned you boys into pussy. Sex change.
Yeah. See, hey, shout out to Wayne, man. Because
Wayne had the second highest debut of an album ever. Can't do and tell that nigga shit right now.
Wayne classics is classic, but Wayne's trash is like.
Hey, we're not even gonna call it because that's a part of that's the one that's him and Drake on fuck, what song is that? I don't even remember the fucking song. I just remember that line. No, Wayne definitely is the nigga who's like should have like his music holds up way better in the 2000s. It's not it's not necessarily if he was dropping it in 20. If Wayne dropped in 2015, no, I don't want to say that. I'm not even gonna say that.
I want to talk about that too because it's a lot.
It's different for Wayne if he dropped in 2015.
I want to say that for next week. I want to talk about all the niggas that dropped before it became like before rap became like super problematic, like before lines was dissected. Like I said, Future came out like a year early. Like if Future would have came out a year or two after he originally did, it wouldn't be no Future. Cause Future still say the word faggot like freely in his raps. It would have been quiet for Future.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it would have been quiet for Wayne. I think it would have definitely been different. He would not be the superstar that he ascended to. But with that being said, don't forget, as always, check out Tony. He be on the socials making it rain all day. I'll be trying to keep up like all the pictures, but the nigga post too fast. I swear I look at one picture like that shit, come back like 10 minutes later, nigga got like 7 new posts.
I gotta catch my free time when I got it.
My man, like
he be out there unloading the clip.
Hell yeah, like my nigga let all that shit fly. Like, hey, don't. Wow, that was a while. Oh damn, I'm about to say some shit to me. It's never gonna advertise it.
Save it for 90 feet.
Hey. 90 feet coming later this week.
Definitely coming. Fuck the Yankees.
Yeah, check out the boxing episode.
Boxing coming later this week. Like it's good. We keeping it moving.
We had a dope boxing episode.
Shout out to y'all.
Every
keep
week,
listening.
Man.
Will, who you freeing this week?
Shit, the nigga that hit Bill Cosby with the chicken patty.
I was just about to say that shit.
Let my nigga out of there.
Keep Suge Knight.
Take his son too.
Free that nigga. Free the fucking.
Take Suge Knight's son for wilding.
Nigga said Tupac in Malaysia.
Hey, we gonna catch y'all next week.
Peace out.